During the Second World War, Hitler's Nazi army grew to the point that it almost annexed all of Europe. The Nazi army was known for taking out foes twice its size and for its use of sophisticated military artillery. In this video on your favorite history channel, we've detailed just how large the Nazi army became during the Second World War and the impact that this had on the outcome of World War II battles as a whole and the war at large. You absolutely want to give this video a like, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications to receive updates of when we post more intriguing war videos like this one. Do leave us a comment as well, as we'd love to read your opinions about the Nazi army of Adolf Hitler. The Germans made quick progress and successfully gained victory during many battles during the first half of the war, and this was largely due to the humongous size of the German army. After the end of the First World War, Germany signed the term under the Treaty of Versailles that the German army would not be grown to more than 100,000 men. But after Adolf Hitler rose to power in 1933, he renegaded on the agreement of the historic treaty by allowing the SA, Sturmabteilung, which was the paramilitary wing of the Nazi Party, to grow rapidly and at such an unprecedented rate. By 1934, the SA had grown to over 4.5 million men. The massive and rather outrageous increase in the size of the SA worried other leaders of the Nazi Party, and more especially the leaders of the German army, many of whom could not comprehend the Führer's objectives. By 1935, Hitler introduced military conscription following a string of events that occurred, and this singular announcement enabled the German army to train over 300,000 conscripts that year. By 1938, the German army had 6 divisions with over 600,000 men in each. In 1939, Hitler orchestrated the invasion of Poland. The Nazi army had over 98 divisions and over 1.5 million well-trained men were all combat ready and available for action. The German army further had 9 panzer divisions, with each division having over 28 tanks, 8 support battalions and 6 artillery batteries. While the Allied forces still far exceeded the German forces before the start of the war in terms of their superior industrial resources, the German army was the most efficient and effective fighting force due to its size, armament, rigorous training and discipline. One core index used in measuring military strength in the 1930s was the number of divisions each nation's military could mobilize. For context, France had 90 infantry divisions in metropolitan areas. Britain had 10 infantry divisions, while Poland had 30 infantry divisions, 12 cavalry brigades, and an extra armored brigade. Germany, on the other hand, had 100 infantry divisions and 6 more armored divisions. Each division consisted of 12 to 25,000 men. Germany's infantry division grew even larger as the Second World War commenced, and its armored division also grew rapidly to substantially influence the course of the war. Germany also began making efforts to match firepower of the Allied forces, and by 1940, each German division ordinarily possessed 442 machine guns, 135 mortars, 72 anti-tank guns and 24 howitzers. Germany's 6 armored panzer divisions would soon grow further to consist of over 2,400 tanks. Going by the recommendation of General Heinz Guderian, a reputed German general, the German tanks were used in creating formations together with motorized artilleries, in destroying enemy defenses and isolating target units within enemy ranks. The German Air Force was also the best of its kind in the early 1940s. The Germans maintained a ground cooperation tactic designed to support the army by using the Luftwaffe. German aircraft were far superior to all Allied types, and during the rearmament period from 1935 to 1939, German aircraft production massively increased, moving from an initial number of 368 in 1935 to a staggering 3,562 in 1939. The standardization of German aircraft engines and airframes also gave the German Air Force an advantage over the rival Allied forces. Germany controlled an operational force of over 1,000 fighters and an additional 1,050 bombers by September 1939. In the year 1940, when the German army mounted its western offensive, it had over 2.5 million men, and its war tanks now numbered over 2,500 in number. While the French army had also managed to grow its forces to 5 million soldiers, the German army, supported by motorized infantry units and aircraft, easily secured victory in the early months of the war. The German army continued to expand, and in June 1941, It had around 3 million soldiers and 200,000 more men from its allies that were battle-ready and well-experienced in military operations. The Nazi army now had 142 infantry divisions, 17 panzer divisions, and 4,000 regular divisions. Even after the war drew to an end and very high casualties had been recorded on both sides, especially after the D-Day invasion in Normandy, the German army still had over 168 infantry divisions and 25 panzer divisions as of March 1945. This number would soon be bolstered by Hitler, who created a people's militia to support the German army in defending German cities that were under attack. This unit consisted of men too old or too young for regular service. It was, however, poorly equipped because the German economy at the time couldn't sustain and fully support the needs of the armed forces. In all, the Second World War saw over 15 million soldiers enrolled in the German army, with about 7 million becoming casualties by the end of the war. This number consisted of the special military group called the Waffen-SS. This was a multi-ethnic and multinational military force for the Nazis, which started out as just 3 regiments, but grew to over 38 divisions during World War II. During Hitler's expansion of Germany, the German army combined ground and air assets into combined arms teams. This special tactic enabled Nazi troops to secure many quick victories against their foes within the 2 initial years of World War II.